don't want to record this section. Now, today we're going to continue with handling exception. In exception, something is one thing about an exception is it helps you to capture errors in your code, errors in your code, and it helps you to quickly trace where the error is coming from. So now, if you are able to trace where error is coming from in your code, it makes your life more easier. Then to tell you the kind of error, if it could maybe capture value error, wherever, then it will tell you where the problem is, and you can from there stop writing the code. So for exception, you use something called try, and you use something called except. Try and except. So, like for example, if for those codes that we've written now, let's say for example we have this now, they can all be between try and except because they are all perfect code, right? We are not capturing error in this case. We want to write our code, we want it to be very effective. So we put them around try and except. This one, copy it, put them under try and except. Can you see? So all the codes we can keep putting them under try. So wherever that is right about your code will be captured here. Wherever that is you want it, in case if there is any error, can you see? It's even suggesting for me. Say, oops, something went wrong. Something went wrong. That's why I love Google. Now, can you see? Oops, something went wrong. If we run this, let me try this one now. I'm very sure it's going to give me an error because it's not going to see anything. Something went. Can you see why is it that why is it giving me these results? Can someone guess?
It's just
Because
because
that's
you requested the code to give you
print.
the outcome as something went wrong.
Yeah.
No. Yes. As something went. So what went wrong?
Mommy, I don't know this code.
So what went wrong? Can someone observe the code very well and spot what's wrong?
Sir, please, is it where the wiggle lines are?
There's nothing went wrong.
Yes, a lot is wrong there. Yeah, if you look at the code very well, I just copy a code and I put it here. How will it work? It's not possible because our code
Is
starts from the beginning now,
I,
right?
I think it's because you've not declared
I didn't declare
this.
this. I didn't declare this. I didn't declare. I just copy part of it and I put it in. You don't expect the code to work. It's not possible because this is a new Google Colab environment, different from the one that here. Can you see? So it's going to fail because I didn't show file path. I didn't copy whatever that we have here. You understand? I didn't copy all this. I didn't copy it here. We still have more. So I've skipped several lines here. Can you see that?
No, that explanation isn't clear.
I know it's, don't worry. I will explain now. Now, it should be clear. Remember when we started our code here? We started from file part now. We followed the procedure and we got to the last part, the result, until we got our output, right? In this case, did we write the whole code here? We didn't put the whole code here for it to work. That means file path. After file path, what happened? What about our length? What about all those stuff? All the code that I just explained. They are not here, in between here, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They are not here, so this is not a complete code. It's the code is expected to fail. Just like when, okay, let me give you an example. Remember when Adaize was talking about length here? When we were trying to fix this length because of duplicates. In that case, let's say we put all this code now in between try and except. It will tell us something went wrong because of that mistake. So the essence of having try and except is for you to quickly capture your what is wrong in your code, and it is going to print it out. Does that make sense? Okay, let's give an example. Let's start with, you should understand what I just explained, but let me just go further by using elementary example because you are familiar with what I'm trying to say. We've experienced it while we were doing the assignment, and we saw few errors, and those errors will be captured using this try and except. Does that make sense? Okay, now let's go on. Sorry. So let's go on. So we have our try and except. Let's say, for example, so this is an example of try and except. You see it this way and the exception. So I'm not going to run this code, but I'm going to copy. It's going to be very useful. So this is how it is. You see try and except. You see it in your code a lot. You can't do without using try and except. As a data engineer, you need to get used to it. Okay. So let's say an example we have. What example should I use? Okay. Okay. So in terms of for try and accept, try, this, I told you code will be here. Then if the code is not correctly, is not giving us the right output, or if there is any error, it will pop up under accepts. So that's how it works. So let's do an example here. Let me create a random list. I will just use 20. I'll use 3, 5. B string, B string, and C. Okay, so let's say, and now, okay, so let's do for I in random list. We looping now. And that is, you remember list now again. I'm looping through if D in I print I. Now we have not added our try and except, right? Okay, so now let's do that. This is not a proper code. I will show you. Now look at this. This code is not, you remember, try as this, you have to align it correctly. Align your code, adjust it. That's it. Then accept. Let's see what will happen. let's say print something went wrong. Suggesting for us, okay. Now look at this code. I said for I in random list, if D is like this, let's see. What did you notice? Because D is not here. Did you see D here? There's no D here.
No.
There's no D. So it's trying to tell us that there is an error here. So he's able to what? Capture, it says something went. But now look at it this way. Let's do if C in high. Okay, say print this. Except I'm coming. I think there's something wrong in this. Oh, okay, okay. Okay. So now let's do something. For this is if I just want to give a typical example. This is what we're expecting if seeing this. Okay, let me do um hmm, okay. Let's do this. Let's modify this code. Let's modify this code. I want to do, Ada is a use something the other time for can't. Let's try and apply can't in this case. If you look at this, if you are using can't, we apply only can't on what? Let's say we want to add, we can apply it on wherever we want to count through. But in this case, we want to add wherever we have here as an integer to this. Right? So let me do for I. Let me use seconds. So let's use for I. This is better now. For I in random list. Good. This is better now. 1 seconds. I want to modify this so that I can make it clear. So for I in this, we could say print the entry is I. Don't forget we looping, so we pass in I, right? Okay. Okay, except it's not in. So except, remember, try and except they will be in line. That was why we got that error. So now we can now do our total equals to total plus I. Or you could also do plus, you understand? But because we are trying to convert this one, we want to pick, because we have string here, we have integer here. So I would rather prefer to pass in integer and convert it. Yeah, just pass in integer. We want to capture integer. So it's not possible to convert string to integer. Alphabet is not possible. So, and that's our interest. That's what we are interested in. So in case, let's say for example now, let me do another, let me say 10 here, 25. Yes, brilliant. So let's run this one. We want to make sure we capture this error. Now look at this. If you look at this, we're looping through. Sorry, can you mute yourself? We're looping through this for 20 in the list, for 3 in the list, and we have set our initial value to be 0 for total. Remember how we create a list, but in this case, we want to do a count. We want to count. So we set our initial value to 0. We are counting from 0, like you want to count. So you're looping for I in this. We're looping through this. 1, 2, 3, 4, then B, C. Then we're now saying print the entry. print them one after the other, it will be printing it as I. Then this total here equals to total, which is 0, plus the integer, if it's 20, is going to add 0 plus 20, first one. And there's something about this is that when you are adding the first one, the total will be 0. Then the new total will be 20. Sorry, the total will be 20 if you have 20 here now. Then this one will turn to 0 plus 20 will be 20. So your initial, this new total will now be 20 plus 3 again. Then you have 23 as the new, another total. Then 5 plus 23, that's 5 here, plus 23 will be what? 28. That's how it works. So if you look at it, you're wondering that why do we have to do total plus this? That's the reason. So if you are adding, it's going to add 0 plus 23 here. After adding that, this will be 0, 23, then, plus 20 is going to be 20. 20 plus 3 is going to be 23. This one will be new 23 plus 5. There's going to be what? 28. 28 plus, this is where we're now going to have problem. So now, in this case, when we run our code, let's see what we're going to get. What did you see? What did you notice? After getting to the entry is 20, right? Here. We got to the entry is 20. We didn't print our total. Don't forget we didn't print our total, but we can print it. We can do print the total. Oops. The total is the total is comma total. Let's run it again. Can you see? After going through the first one, 20, it said the total is 20. After adding 3, going to 3, it said the total is 23, based on what I explained the other time. After getting to 5, he added 5 to 23, then we have total as 28. Then immediately it got to what? Entry is B. What happened? Because it's not an integer, it's not possible to add it. The exception was able to capture that I said something went wrong. Something went wrong. But one thing is that it keeps going. After capturing that, it moved down to 10. After 10, we add 10 to 28, making it to be 38. Does that make sense? Then 25 to 38, making it 63. Can you see how it's counting? It keeps adding, and adding. But you know, in this case, our code will fail. This code has never captured any bug because the code is full of bug in the sense that we don't expect this one immediately. We expect the code to see the bug and stop running. We don't expect to run and add value up to 63 because, number one, we are expecting this one to be an integer, not a string. And because it's a string, this code has failed. That means this code has a bug. This code has a bug because of this. But we're able to capture the bug, but using this except. We use this except to capture the bug. That's why we're able to get something went wrong. Something went wrong. But at the same time, we don't want this code to run. We can decide to as well prevent the code from getting to 10 or, doing total up to 63. So it should stop immediately it sees any error in the file. Now, how do we do that? We could just do break. Then if it breaks, let's say it's going to print the total, the last part. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay, don't worry. You will understand what I'm trying to say now.
It's price
Let's
per pupil anyway.
no, I said total is initial is 0. It's just like you are writing 0. You say you are adding in this case of 0, maybe this one is confusing. In this case of 0, you are doing 0 plus 1 equals to what? 1. You want to add another 1 to 0. It will make it what? 2. Isn't it? You want to add another 1 to 2. Another 1 to 2. It will make it 3. That's what is happening with this. So this t total equals to 0 is the initial value of 0. So as you are adding 20 to 0, it will turn it to 20. Then 20 plus 3, going to be 23. So we have a new number, 23. 23 plus 5, 28. Does that make sense? That's what is happening here. It's not difficult. It's so easy. But I know maybe because I've been to it, sorry. Now, let's see. We want to make sure that this code is prevented from running further if it sees any error. Now, let's see. Let's run it. What did you notice? Any difference between what we ran the other time and now?
Yeah, it stopped.
It stopped because we apply break. So
Yeah.
because here, when we are doing the calculation, this is where integer stops and it continues after C. But this is a bug in our code because we are interested in integer and there's no way to convert B and C to integer. So immediately it sees that, oh, this is what? An error. It's going to capture it and it says something went wrong. It's going to print the error and do the last calculation as 28. 20 plus 3 plus 5. If I turn this one to 2 now, we are setting our initial value to 2. What do you think this will be?
30.
Thank you. Now let's run it. You see, 30. It's just a value. 20 plus 2 plus 22, 22 plus 3, that's 25. 25 plus 5, 30. So it depends. You can decide to do 10. If I like, it's going to give me more value. 38, can you see? Because of I'm adding 10. But let's initialize it to 0 and let's run it. That's it. It's going to stop where immediately it sees that, oh, I can't do calculation anymore because B and C is not an integer. Immediately it reads, let's say we even eliminate this one now. Let's say we put this one at the back. Look, you will see that it won't even care about running the last one. It will stop here. Now look. Can you see? Oh, where is it? Okay, invalid. I didn't initialize. Okay. Look, what happened? It stopped here. It didn't even continue. Immediately it sees B. It didn't go to any other one. It's going to break. And that is the way to ensure that you prevent your code from running wrong. Should I say it's prevented from a bug. So here you capture it and you stop it. So it's not going to process. Like if you have built an application with Python and you're trying to do data transformation and there is an error there, it's just going to stop immediately. It won't process further. Look at the implication of running a bug. Let's say you have data being used by like 1 million people worldwide. Let's say you are working in a financial environment, in a like let's say insurance. You're working in some of these S&P 500 companies and stuff, and they have to meet the needs of customer of more than 100 million customer, and you mistakenly allowed this particular B and C, let's say B, to appear on the record of customer. That's a bug. That shows that the organization, not you caused the bug because you didn't trace it immediately. That means organization will fail in terms of service being provided to their 100 million customers. So you as a data engineer is to ensure, your duty is to ensure that you are able to capture all the errors right from the beginning. That's why we have testing. You remember I kept on talking, I talked about testing last week again, that we did quality test. And so it's very important as a data engineer, if you are doing if you have testing experience, it's good for you because you know that you'll be able to prevent any failure in your application or when you are writing your code. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think let's have a break. Everybody is tired, right?